I should just do that offline. I don't want to do. What the fuck? Ah! Come out to the coast, we'll have a party, have a few laughs. Nice, easy Eden run. He said with a straight face. Eat dicks. Eat dicks. Enjoy my, my wisp. Oh my Christ. Okay. Was that a Die Hard quote? That was a butchering of a Die Hard quote. Was it, come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs. But I managed to mix that up, blend it up with Welcome to the Party, Pal. But yeah, it was, I felt very John McClane inside an AC duct at that moment. Hello? Dude, what if I found like a 6 rune? This run is positively fine. If your goal is like you gotta win because you're streaking or something. Okay, well, you know what? Fuck, I guess fuck that. I guess I just don't get to touch that. I'm sorry, Taffy, but that little screen was awesome and thank you for it. Taffy, I heard you say you wanted a steak earlier for Thanksgiving in the stream. Just so you know, Steaksgiving is actually a thing. Save the ham and turkey for Christmas and treat yourself on Thanksgiving. I'll talk to the fam and see what they want to cook. Like, listen, ain't none of them gonna cook. Amber would with a gun to her back. And I mean like almost literally. I really genuinely don't know if I mean figuratively or metaphorically. I mean like maybe literally I'd have to put a gun in Amber's back. And at that point, if I'm just gonna hold a gun to Amber's back for the entire day, I might as well cook. But genuinely speaking, we've kind of long since steered away from like, well, tradition states that we should. And we just kind of have leaned into like, what sounds good? We'll make our own fucking traditions with blackjack and hookers. I'll see what they want, what they want me to have, or what they want to have. Like, you know, we haven't really settled on what we do for Christmas dinner. Last year we did duck breast, and it was fucking dynamite. Oh my god. We did pan-seared duck breast, and then I used the rendered fat and a little bit of prosciutto fat. I crisped up some prosciutto in the duck breast fat, and then I used the commingled fats to make a pan sauce with balsamic. I put that on like some microgreens with some crisped garlic. Drizzled that pan sauce over the top. Did some smashed Parmesan garlic potatoes, and then used the potatoes to get all the duck juice off the bottom of the plate. That shit was dynamite. I was genuinely concerned, Icon, because duck's such an easy thing to fuck up. And I you know, listen, like I march my victories in front of you guys, but I've messed up plenty of like expensive proteins. I've messed up plenty of expensive proteins. I've messed up plenty of good meals. And I was genuinely nervous that I was gonna have a very expensive dinner that was gonna end up just being like, well, Dad tried duck this year, but I guess we get Domino's. But that turned out like I was surprised at how good that turned out. It was genuinely tasty. I actually don't think I need to pick up. I actually don't feel like I need to pick up shrimp bracelet. The red croissant. I think we'll be okay without it. On this floor, it reminds me more of Kill It With Fire. Brother-in-law said he might be able to get you a deal, but the car would have to be in my name. Because of the friends and family thing. Hey, listen, man. Maybe, I don't know. I'll talk to Amber about it. I'm frugal to the point of engaging in some chicanery. I'm not above committing a little fraud. To save a buck. Well, I mean, not even save a buck. I'm sorry. I'm not above committing a little fraud to save 10 grand. You know? Just a little innocent fraud. Yeah, Sarah, that's one of the nice things that, like, so Sarah says, I like making traditions and not letting society dictate what my traditions are. We had a lot of, like, we had a lot of familial stuff. We had a lot of familial stuff. Oh, god damn it. Oh, there goes the heart I bought. What was our Christmas Eve? My family's Christmas Eve, my mom didn't, oh, okay. My mom really didn't, like, she has admitted that though she makes tasty food, she's not a cook. She was just somebody who followed, like, Betty Crocker recipes real well. And we found our favorites, and we did the ones that we liked, and we just left behind the ones that we didn't. That said, on Christmas Eve, she used to always go to Costco and just get all the frozen seafood that they had. Like, when I say frozen seafood, I just mean, like, she'd go to Costco and she'd get, the bag of shrimp scampi. She wouldn't make shrimp scampi from scratch, but she'd warm it up from a bag. She'd do that. She'd do like a shrimp cocktail platter from, like, you know, Albertsons. She'd go and get, like, she'd find, like, a thing of, like, frozen scallops wrapped in bacon. She'd get, like, a bag of fried clam strips. It was just like, the cheapest and easiest variant of everybody's favorite seafood products. It wasn't gourmet and it wasn't fancy, but for, you know, for people who didn't splurge on food a lot, once in a blue moon to you know, one day out of the year, eat a reasonable facsimile of our favorite seafoods until we were sick was kind of nice. And that was our Christmas Eve meal for a while. Grilled tiger prawns sound amazing. Let's just swap identities for a few years, nothing bad could happen. There's a part of me that would have absolutely no problem at all. Like, listen, this is never me being like, oh, chat, my life is so bad. This life you've seen fit to grant me after I begged for it for a decade is so hard. But I do genuinely feel like I would relish the opportunity to let, like, I do genuinely relish the opportunity to, like, let somebody who's, like, a long-term Twitch viewer who just goes, oh man, that's a pretty sweet gig they got going on there. I wish I was a quote-unquote big-time streamer so I could see what Easy Street feels like, and then just let somebody take, like, a month. I think it'd be the same as, like, when people, you know, when not you guys, but, like, a lot of the armchair quarterbacks who were just like, oh, you know, these guys, these professional athletes shouldn't haggle with owners to get paid. They should just feel privileged for the opportunity to play pro sports. They don't realize how lucky they got it. It's just like, man, you haven't played sports since high school. You have no fucking clue what these guys go through to play at the level they play at. I wish I could put that person in Tom Brady's shoes for a month. I wish I could put that person in Dak Prescott's workout routine for a month. It would be awesome. What a shit place for a second secret room.
This is the story
Plan C.
of the newest
Tempting.
denizen of the cave.
Steak mixed with a dark beer and cheesy potatoes. That sounds fucking dynamite. I made a gratin with, God, who sent that to me? I want to say it was K Stroop. I hope I'm not wrong. I think K Stroop sent me the slicer attachment, the slicing and grating attachment for the stand mixer. And within days, the first thing I did with it was I turned it on so I could make potatoes au gratin. And like the first thing that it made me realize is I was like, I need to make more cheesy potato variants. I don't really feel like I nailed the au gratin, but I saw the potential. I need to make a richer sauce that it sits in. And I need to slower cook the potato. I need to start it at like lunch. That sounds fucking amazing, Mr. Clean. Silent Night, Meaty Sentinel, Tomahawk on 12/25. Recently made my mom's Clams Casino for a get-together. The shit was expensive. 4 cans of chopped... Yeah, chopped clams in a can. My mom makes oyster dressing that looks like cat food. It looks like wet cat food, but that shit is so good. If you just eat it with your eyes closed. If you just eat it with your eyes closed, it's so dynamite. And I don't know of anybody who makes it quite the way she does. I think I'm down to 2.5 hearts. So I'm not even gonna go into the deal with the devil. It's just a waste of time. We're gonna try for deals with the angels. I wonder if I can find a picture of oyster dressing that looks like what my mom makes, because it's dark meat turkey and meat she pulls from like the neck, and meat that she pulls from just the shit that nobody eats. Oyster dressing. There's not that many oysters in it, but it's expensive. Oyster stuffing. Unfortunately, this stuff that looks like the least appetizing looks the most like what my mom makes. It really does look like wet cat food. Maybe Louisiana oyster dressing? This thing says, Nacho Mama's oyster dressing. And I'm like, well, fuck you. That's not what I want. Yeah, this kind of looks like it. This looks even less appetizing than what my mother makes. This looks even less appetizing than what my mom pulls together. I fucking can't explain it. That shit is like crack cocaine to me. It's so good. It's so savory. I get a little bit of this, and then I get a bite of everything else on the plate. But a little bit of this goes into every bite I have on the plate. Yeah, like I said, that looks a little less appetizing than what my mom normally makes. Snake Bitten Tier 3, 46 months. We've gone through some ups and downs, but I can say for sure that I've enjoyed every single 46 months we have known each other. Snake Bitten, thank you so much for the kind words, man. I appreciate it. I genuinely can't, like, even not just you, not you and me, but like even in situations where I've butted heads with viewers, I can only think of 1 or 2 that I've had to like summarily dismiss for the sake of my mental health, and they're not fucking here anymore. And so the rest of us, you know, I don't want to get too cloying about it, but you know, we've formed ourselves a little online community, little family. And not in the sense of like American corporate, like, hey, keep pumping those dollars into me and we're a family. But like, you know, I feel like we've propped each other up over the course of a harrowing couple of years, and I appreciate each and every one of you for it. You guys have helped keep me sane the same way I hope that I've made you guys giggle during a particularly unfunny era in human history. If I took over the channel, you'd be making a killing because people would pay me not to go outside because they're worried about me getting hit by a train or something. I think you underestimate what people consider content. The last thing people would want to do is see streamers do something to jeopardize their health. Torn, are you new here? Not here, but like, are you new to the internet? Send all the cash to Taffy to keep Torrent out of danger. Fantasy football is my form of self-harm. Every year I spend a ton of money on my whole team to get injured. I told Noah that like being your own boss and running at the time several companies, because I was running this and still helping with 99 Lives and Pretzel. But I told Noah, I was like, listen man, I don't know how you do it. You're like a lawyer and a manager, and you got little side hustles and stuff. Maybe it's that you don't have kids, but I was like, I just don't have time, nor do I care enough about sports these days to do fantasy football. I want to quit this one non-cash league that we've been in for years so I can just focus on my life. And he said, I hear you, bro. I hear you, fam. Loud and clear, you know? And then he signed me up for a second league he was in. So now I'm in 2 leagues I don't care about. Speaking of parts of the turkey that mostly get left behind, my grandpa always used to cook and shred the gizzards and put them in the gravy. Not gonna lie, I miss it. My mom does the same thing. She takes the gizzards and makes giblet gravy. I can take it or leave it. I'll be honest. For nostalgia purposes, I feel like there are times where I wish that I could have that just so I could have a little taste of home. But honestly, the flavor that comes out of your like stock and standard TV dinner store-bought jar dressing tastes just as fine to me too. I dig on that pretty well as well. Yeah, Bunbarian, I've had a hard time selling people on old Mom Taffy's oyster dressing. It looks like wet garbage. But I'll be damned if it's not my favorite thing that she makes on Thanksgiving. And she makes a lot of food on Thanksgiving. Look up images of oyster dressing raised on a roux. Oyster dressing roux. Oh, yeah. Wait, is that right? That's right. That's basically the shit right there. Still, like, not hyper attractive. I don't know what the shit that is, but like this is much closer. There's a green component to it. It's meat and celery and obviously like very wet stuffing. Oh, that's rice. The fuck is that bullshit? Get out of there. Basically like this stuff. The stuff from Oysters Rockefeller. But just filling out a sheet pan. Gotta hate the stockholders from my company. They keep screwing up everything short-sighted in the next about the next quarter only. I can only imagine. I'd be absolute rubbish. Well, you know what? I say absolute rubbish. Nate and I, you know, were equal parts of a company. And I am proud to say that there were decisions that were made that were bad that he and I were not capable of stopping because I was a big hemming and hawing wussy. Nate kept calling me Business Switzerland, and he didn't mean it as a compliment because he needed me to have his back sometimes, and I didn't. That said, when push truly came to shove, and the fate of the companies were on the line with some decisions that we made, he and I managed to keep some truly terrible decisions from happening that would have actually run the company into the ground. And because he and I, you know, at least chose a couple of key battles. If I'd had his back more frequently, I don't think it would have been as dire, but when push came to shove and decisions had to be made that truly decided whether or not Pretzel and 99 Lives, you know, folded versus Pretzel and 99 Lives stayed alive long enough to become worth money, we made the right decisions. 99 Lives has been profitable its entire existence, I think, because of some of those decisions. And Pretzel was damn near an 8-figure company when it sold. Came in on that feel-good moment. Please, Taffy, I just ate. Don't make it come back up. I'd kill for some oyster dressing right now. It sounds really good. I think the Moon card is not as useful as the Hermit card because ultimately bombing into a secret room is not difficult. Hermit card at least saved me a key. Frost Prime says, I didn't buy a paintball gun because my viewers want me to be safe. Oh, shit. Chat. You should be following Frost and watching him play video games. That is all. I hate this room. Just don't miss, forehead. I tuned in the other day to watch Frost play Inscription, And I gotta tell you, it was nice to see a streamer who wasn't me, who is known for having a sublime community, which I think puts us in similar neighborhoods, hit a point where the back seating, he's playing Inscription. He's playing Inscription. And I think, like, relentless backseating is one of the only things that has ever driven me to lose my fucking gourd.
Puberty infested?
And I tuned in just in time to see backseat. I tuned into Frost and was like, I'm gonna take my morning. I'm gonna watch Frost play this video game. I'm gonna play some Super Auto Pets while I watch. It's gonna be a good day. And I was there for like 90 seconds and he went, you know what? I'm done. And he checked out. He was just like, I can't take the back seating today. And I was just like, you know, I'll give up my Frost viewing time just for the sense of camaraderie that comes with watching this unfold. It was something else. Oh, God. Dude, if you didn't see this, it got so bad in here the other day with some rando coming in here and backseating my fucking existence. That we ended up, I gotta go to a different scene. But we ended up creating this. He made me like $1,500 in 2 hours, so I appreciate him for that. But we genuinely, we were trying to play Animal Crossing New Horizon, but Rick was such a fucker. Like, he wasn't even backseat. Well, no, he backseated Isaac because he told me I was barely average at the game, and told me I should try playing other things, and he knew. He knew because he had 10,000 hours in the game. I only have 7,000 hours in the game. I'm a neophyte. I am a student at his feet, and I should have recognized him as such. Maybe Rick wasn't a native English speaker. It doesn't explain or excuse any of his behavior. But potentially old Rick Astleyman may not have been a native English speaker, or may have just been full of shit. Because ultimately, he kept calling Rebirth, like Afterbirth. He didn't call Afterbirth Afterbirth. He kept calling the previous version of this game Reborn. It was very weird. Oh shit, everyone's like, Taffy, don't you know that Zapdos is... No, I don't give a shit, okay? Listen, take your overpriced fucking children's game and stuff it directly up your ass. I picked that one because I was least worried about offending your delicate fucking sensibilities. I don't give a shit about your children's card game. I don't even care if the cards you have are worth $1 million. The only viable form of Pokemon is Pokemon Go. Fight me. That's the only meaningful experience in Pokemon is Pokemon Go. Your medium sucks. Your TV show sucks. Your card art isn't even interesting. Stir the pot. Your video games are boring. Red and blue rising from the grave to kill you. I'd be Team Yellow. It seems like the strongest team anyway. Taffy, did you choose violence today? I picked the card game I knew the least about, and I can't hide the fact that I don't care. I don't care to learn Pokemon. I can't. I have. Okay, cool. Thanks, Curse of the Maze. Fun to be around you as well. I get FOMO from how much you guys seem to enjoy Pokemon, but fuck me, man, it just does not live in my DNA to care to learn it. Like, I have just negative desire. I have negative desire to and I don't know why. Like, genuinely the only part of me that enjoyed Pokemon Go. And it was just because my fat ass needed to walk around. I guess, like, I get it for Grayson because he's like 11 and it looks like cartoons, but I just can't I can't get myself as a grown-ass. Marvel comic book cards, sign me right up. I don't know why. For whatever reason, that I guess it's because I had that stuff when I was a kid, and so it resonates with me. Magic the Gathering, I kind of have like allowed myself to get into a little bit, but like even when the game makes fucking no sense to me whatsoever, the art on the cards just seems super compelling to me. If for no other reason, the art on the cards is great.
I found pills.
I'm happy that other people enjoy Pokemon, but like, I got. My eyes instantly glaze over when someone's like, "I'm doing a Pokemon pack opening," and I'm like, "Oh man, I can't wait to see the 900th way they've repackaged." Yeah, technically, this is just another Pikachu card, but this time he's got on a little bowler cap. Thanks for your money, dummies. So anywho, I don't know. I didn't mean for that to turn into a spicy take, but literally the moment that everyone was like, excuse me, Taffy, but playing Zapdos would be a poor move. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck your children's game. That's, if push comes to shove, I don't give a shit. You stuff it up your Gyarados, your Gyarados. Listen, you can get fisted by Machamp. See how many of these I can say incorrectly. I will fight you over my Eevee cards. I will say the ones that look more like pets get me, but it's the same reason that, like, you know, if I go onto Facebook and I go, what's going on Facebook? Oh, this is a dystopian nightmare. Never mind. Oh, somebody's kitty. And then I'm just like, that's the only redeeming thing that I see when I go onto Facebook. It's like, you know, I have the same feeling about Facebook that I have about Pokemon cards. I'm just like, all of this passed me by. I don't need to be involved in any of this. Oh my god, look at this little kitty cat. It's like a little kitty. I just want to put his little head. And then cage fight him. Let me backseat your example of backseating. Honestly, that's like, I didn't choose violence, but I was sitting here telling Frost about how my chat's different, and then everyone was just like, yo, let me backseat your example of backseating, and I was like, you know what? Your card game's fucking stupid. There's your backseat. There's your hot take analysis. I can't understand why you spend money on that. Tap, your age is showing by the way you say listen, man, I keep hearing about oh yeah, you know what, I managed to find $9,000 worth of Pokemon cards, which means 3 packs. And whenever I hear about, like, oh man, Taffy, your age is showing, I'm just like, you know what, I am gonna buy that grill. I do deserve a $1,000 Traeger. I'll just bypass 4 packs of Pokemon cards. I do deserve this. You're right, chat. I don't have any. Oh my god. Well, yeah, I need to go lay my hands on the alabaster box. Suddenly, it's a moral imperative. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, you know what? You're right, chat. I don't have any silly and borderline self-destructive habits like Pokemon cards. Hell, for card series that I enjoy, I love Marvel Masterpiece. And I mean, like, I've got the nostalgia to go along with that. Marvel Masterpiece was a huge part of my teenage years. I used to mow lawns all weekend so I could have money to go play pinball at a place called Treasure Cove, and then go around the corner in that strip mall to a comic book shop and pick up Marvel Masterpiece cards. And I used to get mad at my mother when she would tell me I couldn't spend all of my lawn mowing money on Marvel Masterpiece cards and like comic books and pinball. Like when she used to hold some of my money back, I used to be like, yo, you didn't mow this fucking lawn, lady? The audacity, how dare you? And even with that, when my friend Pat told me he was modeling for Marvel Master, fucking, hold on. When our good buddy Marvel Stunts was like, yo, I'm the Punisher that this guy painted. When he was like, yo, I'm the Green Goblin that this guy painted. Like, he was the model for these. And they look just like Pat. That's the thing that kills me. He was Deadpool. Whoops, don't come out. Okay. Like, he was Deadpool. And I was just like, I can't believe they're making Marvel Masterpiece again. How do I buy packs? And he was like, they're like $300. And I was just like, I'm so proud of you, and I will never own any of your cards. Yeah, dude, like Frimry, I don't want to gloss over that. That was fucking banana balls. It's a 1 in 10,000 chance of all 4 flames dropping a soul heart. Yeah, like, let my self-destructive habit be a brisket burger. I am a little bit too old for Pokemon. Pokemon came out at, like, Pokemon was hitting middle schools and maybe even early high school about the same time I was graduating. Like, genuinely speaking, like, not doing a comedic bit to try to make y'all giggle at me. But Magic was just showing up. Magic the Gathering was just showing up when I was in high school, and Pokemon was kind of hitting... Pokemon was kind of hitting about when I was graduating, and so by the time Pokemon was hitting big, I was too concerned with trying to get laid. And I don't mean that like in a derogatory way. I mean like I was in my late teens, early 20s, and in college, and all I cared about was like getting invited to parties and having sex. Even my comic book stuff took a couple years off. Mother taxation is theft. Return my funding. That's funny. That's super funny. I was a puppet of my own hormones for a couple of years. I was not in control of my own existence for a couple of years. I was barely able to keep my grasp on video games, and that was mostly because of World of Warcraft. Dude, not even World of Warcraft, EverQuest, sorry. That was because of EverQuest, and for a little while I discovered MUD. It was EverQuest, StarCraft 2, and my first time ever being on a legitimate T1 LAN. So the fact that like we could actually play like LAN parties of like eight person 1v1 StarCraft battles and stuff like that took a long time to finish. I got knocked out early, dude. My base spawned in a terrible location the one time we did that. But like it started at 7 and it wrapped up at like 3 in the morning. I want to say it was like Tyrone and somebody from over in F Suite were the last 2 people standing. Taffy, you didn't get any unopened packs of Alpha? I don't even know. Like, is that Pokemon? Is Pokemon Alpha, or are you talking about Magic? The only cards I bought when I was a kid were Marvel Masterpiece cards. And they're not worth any money, but goddamn do I love them. No, I didn't get any Magic. Like, I didn't get it. I was still shaking off the... like, I shit you not, this is gonna sound like I'm cracking a joke, but I was still shaking off those sort of mental shackles of, like, my Baptist upbringing. And, like, D&D was adjacent to Satan worshipping, and Magic the Gathering felt like D&D. And so, you know, those weird crystal charging eyeliner wearing goth nerds were probably involved in some shit that I just don't want to be involved in. Like, that kind of stuff was rattling around inside my head. I was in southern Idaho. That was, at the time, even then, ruby red and conservative. So, like, I had friends that played, I knew people who played Magic, but, like, I didn't truly get introduced to it until about 2 years ago. My brother and I went back and did the math. We had about $25,000 worth of Magic cards that got lost at some point. God, that sucks. Yeah, Packet Greaser. When I got to college, the only thing that kept me from being legitimately 150% all about nothing but getting laid was that T1 connection. Was that T1 connection in my dorm room, and even then, that was at least half for porn. Holy shit, porn at DSL speeds. I'm firing shots. They're just not coming out. But the other half of what that was used for, I guess it was like more like one quarter video games, one quarter homework, and then like 50% porn. But man, oh man, all of those things were lightning fast. I've been playing, like I've been watching my, ironically enough, the first online gaming done in my house was done by my father, who was playing like, I'm looking for a Tinted Rock real quick. Nay. Actually, you know what else? I'm gonna go check this, sacrifice room, because there could be soul hearts hiding in the skulls in there. I'd love to leave here with a spacebar item that's not alabaster box, if that's possible. It's gonna take a little work, and it may not happen, but yeah, my dad became the first person to do online gaming for like fighter sims, like flight fighter sims. And then Tom Clancy games. Damn, we came really close. If I hadn't accidentally had that one soul heart blown into me by the Ipecac shot, I would have been able to pop alabaster box on this floor. Do I play Magic now? I play MTGA. I don't really play Paper Magic. I like Draft because it eliminates a lot of the... I get real analysis paralysis when it comes to deck building. So when you tell me I have I have the choice of all the Magic cards that are legally allowed in existence to build a deck, I freeze up real bad. This is the same in Hearthstone, the same in Magic, the same in any deck builder, really. I just freeze up real bad when there's that much choice to be made. But when you do Arena, or when you do drafts, you only get the cards that are handed to you, and you build based off of very limited resources. And I find the limitations of that freeing, because it takes a lot of the overwhelming amount of choice out of the situation for me. That's what I want to leave here with is Pink and Shears. Taffy's dad bonded two phone lines together to get 108K of bandwidth. It was so cool. It is amazing how technologically savvy that guy became very fast. I think porn was the infection vector for him. Man, that guy watched a lot of porn. And what's funny is he tried to pin that shit on me and I wouldn't let him. I was going I try not to tell this story very often, because if it ever got back to him that I was telling this story, he'd be mortified. Oh, what have I done? But I remember once when we first got our family computer and got the internet, I was just kind of piddling around, just trying to understand how computers worked, and I was going through the hard drive, just kind of looking at all the system files and directories and all that jazz. And I found temporary internet files. I didn't even know what that was, but I mean, the name was pretty self-explanatory. And in the temporary internet files, I found so many stored porno images. And I mean, so many different kinds of porn. Holy shit. And my dad came around the corner, like, it wasn't my porn, so I wasn't like all that concerned with hiding it. You know what I mean? Like, if it had been my search history, I'd have been like, oh no, I have to hide the screen. Gotta make sure to get rid of all this before someone finds out. But it wasn't my porn. I had stumbled upon this discovery. So my dad came around the corner, and you know, there's some lady like spread eagle in the middle of the screen. He was like, oh, hey son, you gotta be careful with that kind of stuff. Come on now. Don't want to let your mom catch you looking at that. And I was like, oh father. Oh padre. This is not my porn, papa. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, father, but this is not my pornography. and he goes, what? And I was like, yeah, this is not my porn, Dad. You need to learn how to empty this. What? I was like, yeah, there's some real interesting shit in here. I ribbed him for about 90 seconds, and then I never talked about it again. He, like, listen, when I say there's some real interesting stuff in there, I mean for a dude who was the embodiment of toxic masculinity, there was some interesting stuff in that file, chat, that kind of explains a lot. So when I say I teased him for about that long, and then I dropped it and never brought it up again, I feel like pornography was the thing that convinced my dad that a computer was worthwhile and was not just a glorified word processor. Genuinely a conversation he and I had. Dad, we need a computer. Why? We've got a word processor. I think porn initially hooked him, but then when he got into online gaming, that was his heroin. Like, that was why it feels like half the time that guy pays out, he pays out with Black Bean anymore. Online gaming was the thing that truly, like, got into his veins. I have bad news, Taffy. The reason he thought it was yours and you thought it was his, it was because there was another person in the house. There's a dude in the crawl spaces. My mom's like Marge Simpson. She wouldn't be caught dead looking at porn. She'd have less of a problem with it if she decided she wanted to, but that daughter of a preacher would never give in. It tweren't my sister. I don't think her tastes are that interesting. I've met her ex-husband. You know? I've known most of my sister's lovers. They're not that. If they had been that interesting, they might still be around, you know? Crawl space dude looked at so much porn when I was a kid. There's a part of me that genuinely wishes that had been my dad's take, is somebody's breaking into this house and looking at all this incredibly sinful pornography. Note ex-husband, he sucks. Like, genuinely, there's a part of me that hopes that because, like, I felt bad when my sister called me and told me that she was getting a divorce, and she was near tears about it because she said that she didn't want to disappoint me. And I was like, you're not gonna disappoint me. I was like, more than anything, and I was like, I don't want this to come off sounding weird, but more than anything, I'm super excited at the prospect that I never have to see that dude again. He sucked. We didn't realize how bad he sucked until we had all entered into a lifelong contract with him. But he sucked. That's a creepy sentence, Taffy, my wife. Listen, I can sit here and I can speak in innuendo and entendre, and we can speak in veiled terms, or we can talk to each other like we're grown-ups. That happened during the subathon. That was kind of interesting. I was over at Justin's chat. Well, I had Justin's chat up when I called my mom at one point while the subathon was going on. I think she was concerned because she thought my stream had gone down, and she just wanted to touch base. And so I called her while I was on stream. I was like in Justin's kitchen cooking, and had Justin's chat and my chat up in front of me. And it was really funny because we've all kind of come to an acceptance of, like, here's how Taffy's head works, and here's how Taffy's family dynamic works. And you guys know, like, if I were to call my mom right now, I got stuck on a rock. if I were to call my mom right now, you guys would have a pretty good idea of what kind of conversation we'd have. It's not a whole lot different than me talking to you, because ultimately, as a kid, I pulled my punches and I stepped on eggshells because of like religion and politics and all that jazz. Even from like my teens, I would love nothing more than to leave this room. Well, thank goodness this feels better. And as I got older, I just, like, I had a couple of instances of just saying exactly what was on my mind, and it wasn't the end of the world, you know what I mean? Like, I've said stuff that she was, like, not thrilled about at all, but I said exactly what was in my head and what was in my heart, and it was free, it was liberating. It was liberating to be able to have a conversation with my mom as though we were peers. Because I really do feel like there were times in the past where, even into my 20s, like I felt a little infantilized. You know? Like I got myself into some adult situations, and instead of like talking me through how to handle it, it was, let us come up there and bail you out because, you know, you're obviously not going to be able to sort this on your own. So with Justin's chat watching, I got into a conversation with my mom, which was the infamous, she wanted to talk to me about how I was framed while I was sleeping during that stream. And she was like, I was under the impression, Ryan, that you were gonna frame yourself from the shoulders, like from the shoulders up. She was like, last night when you went to sleep, I could see all the way down to your calves. And I said, oh yeah, you know, I was just, I did the best that I could, and I was too tired to keep fiddling with it, so I went to sleep. You know, thank goodness I didn't start feverishly masturbating in the middle of the night. Now, she got apprehensive about that, but it wasn't because I said the word masturbating. It was because my niece and nephew were in the car and I was on speakerphone and I didn't realize it. She told, like, in fairness, she told me, but I'd already forgotten. And there were people in Justin's chat who were just like, that's your mother. You can't talk to her that way. But then there were other people in Justin's chat, like none of you guys batted an eye. You guys were just all just LULs all through chat. But Justin's chat had this like mild existential crisis of people being like, nobody talks to their mother that way. And then other people were like, well, people who see their mothers as peers and adults, I guess every family dynamic's different. And I was like, oh yeah, right. There are some people who are still just like, mother, should it please you this evening, I should like to take a brisk constitutional. Of course, your permission provided, Baba. Mummy. I just like and that's fine. Like honestly, if that's the dynamic that makes everybody happy, you know, I'm not yucking anybody else's. I guess that's not like a yum, but like comfort zone. Okay. I genuinely don't know if I'm almost dead. I've just been whittled. Cool, I'm hitting nothing. I hate this. Nice, easy Eden run, he said. Start the day off right, he said. No health ever, they said. Oh my god. Salvation. Salvation is nigh. I'm not even gonna fight the angel. I feel like I'll just hand these spirit hearts back to him. Fuck that. I'm surviving by the skin of my teeth here. Yeah, Bunbarian, that's kind of my feeling too, is that like, you know, maybe it potentially didn't do wonders for my dad in my relationship when I started just talking to him like, frankly, a guy I wouldn't want to drink next to at a bar. But at the same time, like, you know, like I said, I don't feel infantilized anymore. And that means that the conversations I have, albeit not all of them positive, are real. They're real. Like I'm having real conversations with my parents that accurately reflect how I feel. I mean, like ultimately, you know, like what was it I was watching? I was watching Catch Me If You Can with a very super young Amy Adams in it. And they have, you know, they have the whole scene where Leo DiCaprio and Amy Adams go back to her house, her like plantation home in Mississippi, where her dad's this hot shit lawyer, and even though she's a, you know, a working late teens, early 20s, you know, girl out in a major city, you know, she comes home and it's mommy and daddy, and oh, you know, we've kept your room exactly how you left it with your canopy bed and dolls. I suppose that's very comforting, you know? If you find comfort in that, that's awesome. But genuinely for me it was... I was very excited at the prospect of feeling like I was brought to the grown-up table at Thanksgiving. And like Thermal Knight said, once I latched onto that and felt like I was being spoken to as a peer, still a son, I'm still their son, and in my mom's eyes, if she lives to be 90 and I'm 60, I'll still be her baby boy, and I get that. But I'm her grown-ass man baby boy, you know? Sight has not been lost to the fact that I am her grown-ass man baby boy. Dear Mama, may I have your leave to ascend to the queue, where I shall promptly proceed to feverishly masturbate to some of Papa's temporary internet files. To the loo. It's actually nice to be able to talk to them. Like, one of my favorite conversations I have with my dad was him going, I know every time you smoked pot as a teenager, why do you think there were always snacks you liked around the house? Yeah, you start to be able to relate to them more. You start to peel back some of the fog of war about why they did what they did. You get vital information, like critical information on not making the same mistakes they did. This fucking song has an alarm in it, a digital alarm. Are you kidding me right now? Yeah, man. I just find that like as an adult, the conversations among, like, between me and my parents have been invaluable. Thumbs down. Which one of you rat fucks is to blame for this? Kino. Fuck you, Kino. Yeah, that's the songs with digital alarm clocks and sirens can go straight to hell. The fuck were you thinking, Kino? Hey, I couldn't help but notice you chose lo-fi as your music of choice today. Well, how about if I put digital alarms in there? That should relax you. Everybody knows digital alarms are among the most relaxing sounds, like right up there with thunderstorms. The thunderstorms, the sounds of whales, you know, somebody with a baritone voice reading or speaking in a very smooth, sort of, you know, liquid conversational tone, and also the digital alarm clock. Tavi Nursing Home just informed me that your pediatric COVID vax are going to be by appointment only in most areas, so if you want to get them for your kids, you should be ready to get an appointment for them as soon as they're greenlit. Done. Done and done, man. A year and a half of waiting a year and a half of doing what we feel like is the right thing to keep not only our kids safe, but everyone else around us safe. And it feels like we're finally reaching the finish line where we can reintegrate ourselves into a society where most of the people around us didn't even pause. And it's gonna be weird, because we're gonna reintroduce ourselves and they're gonna be like, are you the fucking weirdos who actually stopped, you know, trying to spread this goddamn virus? And I'll be like, yeah, I know, fuck us, right? Anyway, can my kid play t-ball now? But at the very least, as a parent, making those difficult parent choices we were talking about, vetting with your you know, living relatives who did their best and still want to talk to you about it. Hopefully one day, you know, honestly, for better or worse, man, I talk to my children already like they're 25 and 30. I pull rank on occasion, but I've started the process of having like grown-up conversations with my kids. I can't tell you whether or not I'm proud of that. there are definitely times where I feel like I should let them be younger than they are, but there's also like they live in a world that feels more complicated than the one I grew up in, and so I feel like I have to level with them faster. I don't want to force them to grow up any faster than they have to, but I also don't want them. Getting their asses kicked by a world that doesn't care about them. I don't want them going out into the world too soft. So I don't know. I try to walk a middle ground. Time will tell whether or not I'm doing a good job. But you know, one day, 10, 20 years from now, if I'm still alive, I would very much like to do a post-mortem on what the COVID years have been like, because I feel like Amber and I have done as good a job we can without going insane, making incredibly unpopular decisions based on the health and well-being of not just our children, but those people who are around us, the members of our community. And I think our kids get it, and I don't think they hold it against us, but it'll be interesting to sort of like look back on it with an adult Grace and an adult Rory and say like, hey, tell me what that really was like for you now that you have the vocabulary to articulate it to me. And do you understand why your mother and I did the things that we did, even though they sucked? And they sucked for mom and dad too, but we get it. The choices we made fucking blew, but you get why, right? Oh, dude, I left the pinking shears on the last floor. That's a bummer. It's a really good item. Oh, well. I don't think it'll make a big difference. Yeah, it's so freeing. You can finally talk to them about real shit. You don't feel like you're constantly on guard. Sometimes it causes friction, but it's just a relief. It's just such a relief, to be honest. Yeah, like, I'm thinking of, like, Morgan Freeman. I'm thinking of, Babish. I'm thinking of, Camping with Steve. I'm thinking of, Purge from the Dota scene. All those guys have baritone voices that I can easily fall asleep to. Again, I list that as high praise. I feel that's an incredibly valuable service to provide to people. When people tell me that they use my stream to fall asleep, I feel honored. It doesn't feel patronizing or condescending at all. Yeah, are you the weirdos who tried to stop me from jogging into a live power line? I know, right? What kind of backwards parenting is that? Ooh, easy, helicopter dad. Sometimes kids have got to eat, whatever, 100,000 volts. This is part of growing up. No way to do it, but just do it. Being a parent is kind of scary, to be honest. I'm feeling better.
Isaac.
I'm feeling better about my abilities as a parent as days go on. I don't know if I should, but I'm feeling a little more confident in the decisions that I'm making. I think just because I've got a little experience under my belt now. But man, did I feel painfully unqualified to be a parent when I brought Grayson home. I felt woefully underqualified. Like, I genuinely, like, it was revealing, because, like, when you're a kid, you hear, like, oh, that's Timmy. Timmy's got, like, a bad home life. And you're like, what do you mean? Like, his parents don't make him eat vegetables? You mean, like, his parents do a real shit job of communicating what presents he wants to Santa? Yeah, that sounds terrible. And you're like, no, his mom smokes meth, or whatever. And you're like, it doesn't even compute. Like, I don't understand. Can you put that in terms that my 8-year-old brain can understand? But then, like, 30-year-old me as a table waiter was allowed to take a small fledgling human back to my shitty 2-bedroom apartment on slave wages, and Amber was making half slave wages. And I was like, those motherfuckers just let me walk out of here with this kid. I have no idea what I'm doing. And they just let me leave. They let me put him in a car and drive off. They didn't tag him. They didn't LoJack him. As far as I know, they didn't chip him. They're not checking his vitals anymore. And it was at that point that I realized, I was like, oh, anyone can make one of these and just take them home. And they're just like, yeah, good luck. Meth, what's going on? I definitely fell asleep to stream yesterday. Having fallen asleep to both you and Purge, I would say that is accurate. I love it. I don't stream. Ooh, Jesus Christ. I don't stream during the graveyard shift. Listen, hey, question. Are people actually trying to like move away from the term graveyard shift? Because I feel like, is that a worker choice thing? So that they don't feel like they're ostracized for working such odd hours? Or is that something that management did to make the shift seem more desirable? Because I keep hearing it called third shift now. And I'm just like, is that something that workers did so that they wouldn't feel so weird about, you know, oh, I worked the graveyard shift, woo? Or is that something management did so that it's like, hey, we're gonna make you work against your body's own biological settings, but we need somebody to restock the shelves, and we don't want to pay you more, like hazard pay, because you're driving around potentially dog-ass tired in the middle of the day trying to get your banking done. It feels like a management thing where it's like, call it third shift. We don't want it to sound as miserable as it is. Yeah, Anataru, do you make extra money? Yeah, like the only time that I ever worked graveyard shift was, okay, I guess you're just gonna hurt me now. The only time I worked graveyard shift was stocking shelves at a grocery store one summer. That shit was super disorienting. And like, I was a teenager. I was like 19, 20. So like, I did get to see the sun, but it was only because I had a high school girlfriend, this squirrel girl, who used to, I'd go to bed at 7 o'clock in the morning and she'd be at my place by 11 and be like, wake up, we gotta go swimming. We're gonna go down to the canyon and go swimming. Wake up, silly Billy. Put on your swimsuit and your sunscreen and let's grab some towels and go swimming. You've had 2.5 hours of sleep. If you'd like to have sex this weekend, I need you to get up and go swimming right now. And I'm like, okie dokie. You're driving. It's a propaganda tactic. That's listen. I'm feeling more woke to the labor movement. You know what I mean? I'm starting to really see the bullshit. Oh my god. I'm starting to really see the bullshit that management pulls to keep people from voicing their displeasure with a system that's rigged to basically grind them into powder and then leave them for dead and then replace them with the next generation. Listen, don't complain about working graveyard shift, but do make babies who can work graveyard shift. We'll need them after you die. The owner of the company's not going to get that below ground pool if we don't replace you and quickly. That was why my dad got so panicked when I told him I was just going to go into the post office. And he just, like, I was just like, oh, I'm going to go into the family business. I'll just go apply at the post office since my dreams of being an actor didn't pan out. And my dad was like, I forbid it. I will not let you do that. I was like, why? It seems to work out okay for you. And he's like, you can't do that. It's like, you let me try to be an actor. And he's like, you seem to want to. And I was like, but you won't let me go to the post office? And he's like, I put my foot down. My dad would rather find me with a dick in my mouth than see me working at the post office. And after the conversations we've had earlier, you know how he feels about, I want to say, some deep-seated feelings that he's probably sorting through. And I don't think that he's ever going to get truly resolved before he goes down for the dirt nap. Yeah, like he genuinely, it's the only time in his life. Moved to the East Coast, that liberal safe haven of the East Coast where all the Democrats live. Yeah. Oh, I guess if that's what he's got to do. Oh, he's going to be an actor? I don't know. It was a pretty fruity scene where he was supposed to be dating that guy, but I guess that's what he wants to do. Oh, he smokes cigarettes? Oh, that's poison. Oh, that's poison. I smoke cigarettes, and I know how terrible I feel, and I've got that monkey on my back. But he's a grown-up. I gotta let him do it. Dad, the post office seems to have provided for you and our family, and while it doesn't seem like an illustrious or glorified job, I need something to take care of me and Amber and the kids. And he's like, I fucking forbid it. What? He's like, I'm not gonna let you feed yourself into that sausage grinder. They don't give a shit about you. I was like, God damn, really? Hi, baby.
Hey, I'm gonna go vote.
2 seconds. You have to. People are freaking out that you're here, and you have to come say hi.
Oh, hi.
I've worked all 3 shifts at some point in time. I love the off hours of 3rd shift when no. Yeah, dude, I love. Listen, man, my body is naturally inclined to the night owl lifestyle. Ow, my face.
Yeah, I'm gonna run up and try to do this before I
I'm gonna sit here and just rage fuck Isaac for the entire day. Just. Anyway. Yeah, people say hello. She's gonna go vote.
Everybody.
I'll finish stream, then I'll go vote. And that'll be, we'll have done what we can do. So, love you. Incorrect, Happy. They want us to stop having kids now because they can just pay robots 10%. Yeah, once they get it automated, you'll see how much they care about making sure we get a slice of the American dream. I fucking hate this run. I would genuinely re-roll this run in a heartbeat if I could. Oh my god, it's a life-saving mechanic. Towards the end of my tenure at Home Depot and retail as a whole, I would tell fellow associates that HD was a meat grinder, and and we as long-term associates just cranked the handle. Yeah. Abs, wait, what? No, wait, what? I picked an Eden run so that I wouldn't have to pay attention to Isaac, and then of course it's an Eden Ipecac run. And on top of being an Eden Ipecac run, we get into this like deep conversation about what it means to be truly honest with yourself and your family. And it's got me, you know, telling tales that I have to choose my wording insanely carefully so that I don't make Thanksgivings awkward for the rest of my life. I'm gonna go back and find it. And then Amber came in, so it's just the deck was stacked against you. I missed this too. Snakebitten said, you tend to stop right before I go to bed, but I've slept to Brizzy many times because he's live and it tends to fit better. Yeah, Brizzy's good for it too. On a related note, I'm not 30 weeks away from making the dad bod not just a fashion choice. Yo. Congratulations, Abs. Ugh. Honestly, I'm far enough removed from the reality of having babies that Amber and I have started to see commercials and movies and all that jazz with babies in them. And I won't say that we're like, you know, we're not like, I'm still getting my vasectomy, but there is a part of us that are starting to get a little sweaty-eyed about the fact that those days, until potentially grandbabies show up. And again, letting Grayson and Rory know there's no pressure. They owe us nothing when it comes to children. If they decide to have children, great. And at that point, Amber and I will get, you know, potentially our second and final dose of dirty diapers and first steps and stuff like that. But for the time being, whenever that kind of stuff comes up on like commercials or movies or whatever, we do find ourselves genuinely starting to finally get a little bit misty-eyed about missing it and the nostalgia of it. And it's very exciting. I'm sorry that I just sat here and talked about what a terrifying shit show it was for 40 minutes. I probably would have tread more lightly if I had seen your announcement. Like, listen, you can fuck it up so many different ways. It's insane. Oh, what's that? Abs is having a baby. It is a magical transformation. It's the best decision you'll ever make. The only advice I ever give new parents is be wary of anybody who says they've got advice for you that's meaningful. Yeah, it's just time removing the memories of how much that time sucks. Dude, I remember like the time that, so Grayson and Rory both shared the same unhappy hour, which is where their little mind goes absolutely ballistic and it purges all the shitty memories that they don't need, and all, you know, they sort through all the ridiculous amounts of feelings that they have. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Weird. What a weird room. So anyway, their own happy hour was from like 3:30 to 5:30 in the morning, which meant that Amber and I would alternate who got up, but it meant that both of us were getting up between 3:30 and 5:30. It's just who got to go back to bed. And it was at that point in time that I realized that sleep deprivation, I would hear people say sleep deprivation was a torture method. And I would roll my eyes. I'd be like, oh, well, so you're saying if I go to Guantanamo Bay to get legally tortured by the United States government, and they've got waterboarding, and they've got fingernails with pliers, and they've got sleep deprivation, that I could pick sleep deprivation, and they'll be like, oh, no, what have you done? This is gonna be so much worse. And then I spent a couple of months legitimately sleep deprived and genuinely thought I was going insane. I was waiting tables in like an alternate universe. That was rough. And then also at one point I was just trying to be supportive to Amber, and she was changing a diaper, and I was laying down on the ground next to the changing station. Man, this fucking game. I was laying down next to the changing station, and I couldn't stand. I was so tired I couldn't stand. Yeah, I was so tired I couldn't stand. I don't know. I'm gonna sit here and just try to grind out some health. So far, so good. You know what? I don't have any reason to hold on to these coins. I need insulation against this stupid Ipecac run. Got snipped at 22, haven't regretted it. My genes are weak and I have no desire to be a parent. I admire people who come to that conclusion. Like, genuinely. It's the honesty that you can have with yourself. That's hard because our society is so fucking hell-bent on, you know, that being a measure or a metric of success. You gotta like draw a line in the sand on that one and be like, nope, this is what I want and it's my life, so fuck you. That's tough. Plus, you know, you get to keep all your money. I can only imagine what that's like. It's like when I watch Twitch streamers and YouTubers that are like 23 years old and they're making the same amount of money I am, but they have a Ferrari. And I'm like, oh shit, I totally could. If I was single, oh god, that would been so good. If I was not even single, but like if I was single and didn't have kids, what a difference that would make when it comes to like, hey, you're making a toe over 6 figures a year as a content creator. You could do whatever you want with that money. I'm like, goddamn, well, I guess I'm getting that Traeger. I guess I'm going on way more international vacations. We call them rooster tails when they shit so hard it geysers up to their neck. Hold on, calling my urologist for a second vasectomy just in case. Ugh. I like those first couple of years. I gotta be careful how loud I yell this because Amber's out voting. Amber's out voting, so I'm here alone with the boys at the moment. So I gotta be careful how loud I yell this, but like, I was genuinely concerned for the first couple of years that I was a dad that I had made a horrible mistake. I'd always thought since I was a little kid, since I was like a teen, that I was destined to be a father. Like I thought that I'd be a very good dad and that I would enjoy it. And then those first couple of years were so rough. I mean, we were so poor. We were so poor. And I was working a dead-end table waiting job that didn't pay enough for us to live, let alone get ahead. And I had somehow decided that that was a good time to like procreate. You know, like I was having some real serious doubts about I was having some real serious doubts about the thought that we had put into it and the preparation that we had put into it. The just the motherfucker. The consideration that that had gone into like, yeah, maybe we're ready to be parents. Those first couple of years were rough. I was genuinely concerned that I'd made a mistake that was gonna haunt two people at least for the rest of their lives. And now I'd fist fight a grizzly bear for him. Dude, B. Perry, if I didn't work at home, if this wasn't my gig and Amber hadn't been capable of doing this, I say, you know, I don't want to say it like it's a bad, oh my god, I thought I was lower than that. I don't want to say this in a negative light, but like, if Amber wasn't able to do the stay-at-home mom thing, if she wasn't able to provide our childcare for us, fucking childcare, holy shit childcare, you know? I can't even imagine. I've got a friend who was dumped. Don't mind me. What the fuck do I do there? Jesus Christ, stick to a path. I got a friend who has worked a job most of her adult life. She spent like the last decade building basically a career, like, you know, in the medical field, working in like doctor training. And because childcare is so expensive, they're having to make real serious decisions about whether or not she just stops working, because ultimately she'd just be working so that they could pay somebody else to raise her kids. It wasn't really a choice for Amber and I. At the point in time she exited the workforce, she was making like $7.25 an hour. She had somehow found a way to get paid less than minimum wage. So I can only imagine, I've got nothing but sympathy for people who are genuinely trying to figure out childcare in this day and age. Justin just tweeted that he'd love to be reported to the lieutenant governor for voter fraud. The phone ringing in the song is driving me nuts. I feel a tweet coming on after this about musicians who put everyday sounds like alarms and sirens and phone ringing into their music. I may actively start working against these people to make sure that their careers not only thrive but perish. Yeah, Fremery. Having a hard time seeing anybody from West Virginia with this much power over the civilized world. Just trying to find any way to get ahead here. I don't think I would be able to do it without... going into this big room. This isn't so bad. Oh, okay, well, it's less good now. I forgot these guys threw spiders. Oh, I almost caught my own shot. I'm so fast, and I fire one shot every 30 minutes. I think the second secret room might be connected to this room. And I need... If I didn't find the health that I found in the arcade, I think I'd be dead already. Or at least I'd be Lazarus. This game makes me look forward to Visage. It's like I'm eternally burnt out. Like I'm pretty burnt out on scary games right now. But goddamn, if The Binding of Isaac at its worst doesn't make me look forward to playing literally anything else. Yeah, Ipecac first item. We're on an hour and 16 minutes on this run. Hour and 16 minutes on this run. Just trying to find a way to make it moderately enjoyable and failing miserably. I swear to Christ, where's the... Where's the second secret room? What am I doing wrong, game? Smashly. Daycare for 2 is $60 more than my mortgage. Yeah, that's like I said, I've got a good friend who's very good at what she does and likes her job and was in the process of like grinding out a career, and now she's got to decide whether or not she's got to decide whether or not she wants to keep working, because ultimately the money that she's making is essentially just going to a daycare so that she can say that she works. Top wall of room connected to sacrifice? Nope. Sure not. I'm gonna start using bombs just because I'm curious whether or not the Ipecac shots are hitting too high. So I'm gonna walk straight down. Upper left part of big room near boss one. Maybe. That feels like the only place that we haven't vigorously checked. Our boys are, I hope, playing, maybe fist fighting, I'm not sure. Sounds like playing. My next break isn't for 40 minutes, so they'll figure it out. There it is, finally, Jesus. Something that could have been brought to my attention yesterday. Shit. I feel like I had... There. Had a chariot card. Manchin being a conservative is understandable. He's representing a district that went plus 40 for Trump in 2020. Cinema obstructing bills for shits and giggles is what gets me mad. It'll be the only time in her political career that she has this much power. It is true to say that Manchin's just representing the will of his constituents. I can't get mad about that, even if I don't agree with it. But yeah, just leveraging the fact that you're willing to be like a super middle of the road Dem and hold this shit over people's heads just because you like being the one making decisions. Ugh. Yeah, the main argument for keeping the job is benefits like retirement, and if it provides seniority benefits. Oh, you're right, I absolutely should go get the Emperor card. Sorry, I've so checked out on this run. I'm daydreaming about lunch because it's the next thing in my life that brings me happiness. Like starting stream and talking to chat and hanging out and shooting the shit for a minute. That's my first dose of happiness during the course of the day. And then the next dose of happiness that I get during the course of the day is lunch. What's for lunch? I have no idea. I have no idea. I'm gonna go tell my boys in a second here to chill the F out. 1 second. lads. What's Daddy doing right now? Streaming. What should we not do right now? Thank you. That's right. No screaming while I'm streaming. I love you and I'm happy that you're playing ball together with one another, especially while Mama's doing that. But please do me a favor and don't scream so loud that I can hear you. I'm just in my head. Thank you. We shouldn't be screaming while Daddy is streaming. Bug made himself a little mnemonic. We shouldn't be screaming while Daddy is streaming. You're absolutely right, son.
The Hierophant.
Pogman, what's going on, brother? I think worst case scenario, if I do lunch today, like, I mean, worst case scenario is like skipping lunch, but if I do lunch today, I could either do just like a sandwich or something easy like that, or we have leftover. We did Chinese last night. Just neither Amber nor I have had the willpower to draw up a menu for the week. It's tough for me because by the time she gets food purchased, I'm gonna be like basically getting in a car and heading to Kentucky. But I should do it just to like help her sort stuff out, you know? But like the day before last we did pizza and yesterday we did Chinese because we just don't have anything to cook.
This is the story of the newest denizen of the cave.
So I don't know what lunch is. Either a sandwich or leftover Chinese food.
Look at you, Stanley. Flaunting your disposable income with that donation to Taffy.
Alicane, show yourself. I saw you weren't subbed earlier and you just gave me... There it is. There it is. I shall not abide this madness. Don't think I didn't register that. Don't think I didn't just put that right away. Don't think I didn't see that you weren't subbed and instantly go, I've marked you for death. There. I want to believe that your $25 bought you something.
Of the newest denizen of the cave.
I want to believe that your $25 bought you something. I promise not to skip lunch. But yeah, like I said, I have but so many different sources of joy throughout the course of a normal working day. I'm not super, I say I'm not crazy about the second game today. Obviously, I don't have to play what I don't want to play, but... Visage is actually a very scary game, you know? Visage is a scary game. It's a genuinely scary game, which makes it tough to play. And I am finally a little burnt on horror games for the month. I think maybe if I'd done Visage first, it would be a very different feeling. So between those two things, like Isaac just being Isaac recently, Isaac being Isaac for the year of 2021 has just been laborious on the best of days. So Isaac's not really a source of joy. The second game today is not really a source of joy. So it really has been just, I'm excited to come see chat and hang out, and then food at lunchtime. Lunch makes me happy. Food makes me happy. And then after that, genuinely, the only thing that really, like, hanging out with the boys and hanging out with Amber makes me happy, but the thing that, like, really brings me alleviation of anxiety and joy at the same time is, like, can I get anything done that needs to be done before I just get too tired to do anything? Hi, baby.
Yeah, I'm back.
How are things?
Great.
How's democracy?
Easy.
Functioning as functioning as intended. You know what I mean. Come on. Technically still existent.
The polling place was functioning as intended.
The polling place was functioning as intended. Amber wasn't even gone very long. That's what I'm saying.
There was
is that
nobody there. I literally walked right in, walked right out.
yeah.
So.
It is an incredibly short drive. That, you know, potentially could be even made for the exercise, but, and then on top of that, the polling place never really seems all that busy. Abs is having a baby.
Yay, baby!
See, I told you it's been long enough removed from the diapers and stuff that she's getting romantic about the idea again. Not enough that I'm skipping the vasectomy this month, but like, You see how it's changed? Because it really was. At the time it was our baby happening, it was, I hate this. I don't want to be pregnant. I don't want to have a baby. I want to have a toddler. And I want to grow them into my own little friends. But now it's been far enough removed, and because it's your baby and not our baby, it's like, oh my goodness, that's great for you to deal with and have. I was mentioning how we've been like seeing like commercials and movies and posts of like Ittle Biddles and going like, oh my god, and it's like, I feel like from the trauma and the shell shock of actually having children who didn't sleep, who violently projectile crapped everywhere, that we were just like, we just have to survive this and we can get to the good stuff. But it's been far enough removed from those days now that we're seeing that and going like, all right, we're a little nostalgic for like the goo goo gaga little cuddle buddies. Like Amber found a passy in a drawer we hadn't opened in a really long time, and we got a little bit misty-eyed. Rory, I didn't yell at them, but I did have to pop out at one point and be like, hey, daddy's working right now, so what should you not be doing? And Rory turned around to me and went, if daddy's streaming, we shouldn't be screaming.
Oh,
and I
nice.
went, that's an excellent mnemonic, son.
Oh my gosh, was that the first time that's been said?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yep. Rory has coined a term that we'll
new house motto.
we're gonna get made into a bumper sticker and put on the outside of Dad's door. What's on the gaming menu after we're done with horror games? I think if I'm not mistaken, the first thing that's on the menu is. By the way, did we just fix this? Things are worse somehow. I think it's Demon Souls on the PlayStation 5, if I'm not wrong. I think we're finally breaking out the PS5.
Nice.
If I'm not mistook. I think Demon Souls has slid further and further down the list because for the longest time we did. Oh, okay. For the fuck you. For the longest time we didn't have a PlayStation, so it just kind of kept getting slid down the list. But if I'm not wrong, I think that Demon Souls is up next. People have said that because it was the first Soulsborne game that I've beaten Sekiro, I've beaten Bloodborne. Yo, somebody said that they had seen the Rick Astleyman conversation. I missed stuff. There was so much stuff going on. Why did I let so much stuff fall through the cracks? Oh, it's because Alicane gave me $25 and made me promise not to skip lunch, and I had to fix that with a gifted sub. But Sweets the Fox also gifted a tier 1 sub that went to Ross TB. And I also had to stop and go ask the boys to not be so loud. And then somebody said that they had seen the Rick Astleyman debacle. But I don't remember who it was. It's gone now. It was something else. I don't know, probably. Listen, I got paid to not skip lunch, so yes, I have to. Yo, Champion. Oh, okay, he's not here, but Champion bought us a tent. Let me show you my new tent. I was, for no other reason than it just opens up the amount of variety that she can look at, trying to preach SUV over minivan.
This is the story of the newest denizen of the cave.
For practicality purposes, she has stated very clearly what she wants, and it's not my fucking car, so I'm not going to tell her what to buy.
Well, I want a third row, and minivans just handle so much better than third row SUVs, so.
She knows what she wants. My job is to cut the check and be happy that she's. Listen, she didn't grow up as a little girl thinking one day.
No, right?
One day I'm gonna be a poet laureate and I'm gonna own a hybrid minivan. So we're all making compromises here. You know, I was talking about this with the pinball situation. Like, there's a part of me that wants to be snarky and be like, yeah, sure, let me tailor my childhood dream that I somehow managed the lottery into to fit the wills and desires of people who don't even like pinball. But then I was also like, well, this fucking thing still has to live under their roof. So, you know, it's like, I was joking earlier and saying, like, it's not like I asked for a pinball machine and got a bumper pool table or something. So, we're all making compromises. Halfway happies. If I'm not the one who's gonna be driving it the majority of the time, then I can mind my fucking business. Just cut the check. Fivagen, tier 1, 19 months. 19 months of being subbed to local pergola owner Laffy. How's life going? Had any doctor's fingers in your butts recently? Not recently, but I am about to have a doctor's hands all over my balls. So there's always that. So yeah, she's first of all, Meph, thank you for the 420 bits going towards the purchase of the capsules need a secondary vehicle. It didn't become apparent. It hasn't been a problem during the pandemic because we've never left home ever.
Yeah.
It's not a problem during the pandemic. But, you know, during the subathon at one point, Amber had to take the boys to piano lessons and I needed to go to Justin's for the subathon. And it created, I mean, it wasn't like the end of the world bad, you know, like it wasn't like, we'll remember where we were on this day. But it was not great. It was clearly, it was clearly less than optimal. We have been trying to say like, oh, we're just gonna wait to buy a car until the automotive market fixes itself. But at that point, we might be buying a car for Rory and Grayson.
Yeah.
So, nobody wants a minivan, but a lot of families need minivans. Exactly right. Exactly right. There's just sometimes especially if you can get a minivan that gets 40 miles to the gallon, it's difficult to beat the functionality of it.
If we go back to furniture shopping, it hauls around a lot of stuff.
That's true.
When you put those seats down, you can carry a lot of stuff.
That's true. If I'd had a minivan, I would have slept on a mattress and not on an air mattress.
Yep.
So that is a point well taken.
If you don't want to pick up, then minivan's your next best bet for carrying stuff.
Oh, and if one of my mods would be so kind as to make sure that Snake Bitten's tier 3 sub goes towards Persona 5 Strikers, please. I've got a 2007. Let's see, my parents drive a Toyota Highlander for the same reason. Dunamex says, I love our Highlander. It's so roomy. It's not a hybrid, though. Maybe the next one when I can afford. Oh, so keep a Highlander in the...
Oh, look.
So several people jumped on the Highlander train. My parents drive a Toyota Highlander for the same reason. I've got a Highlander hybrid that I just bought a couple of months ago and I love it so much.
Oh, there you go.
As I say, people are really jumping on the Toyota bandwagon. You guys may not have been here earlier and missed it when Torin said the only other hybrid minivan on the market is a Chrysler. And Torin was like, hey, you should buy American. And I was like, dude, it's 10 grand more than the Toyota. I don't have 50 grand to throw in a minivan. Like, Liz, it's been good. You guys have treated us so well since 2018. Don't get it twisted. But I ain't got $50,000 for a minivan. And he was like, listen, my family member works in the industry and can probably get us a deal. And then he came back a few minutes later and goes, all right, so we can get you a deal on the Chrysler, but it's got to be in Chat's name. He said his name, but let's be honest. You can own this minivan at a reduced cost, but it's got to be in Chat's name. And I was like, that's some Champion level bullshit that you're at. Like, Champion said he would buy us the whole ass car, and all he wanted was to pick the vanity plate. You're telling me that technically the fucking thing has to be in Chat's name. And I was like, I'd do it. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. I'll do it. I ain't scared of you.
I need to get you food, and then I gotta get food.
Okay. Oh yeah, you guys. God, there's so much going on right now.
Do you want Chinese peppers?
Whatever you don't want, I'll take. I'm feeling very. My goal for today is to survive and try again tomorrow. My goal for today is to accomplish literally anything and then try again tomorrow.
Someday, Bumbo, lucky Bumbo, someday the Bumbo is a bad Bumbo. Your corn